This is Sunny Phi Side Sports Take Live. This is our 15th episode, and we have a stellar cast. I am letting somebody in. We've got a whole festive sports conversation coming to you, and we look forward to hearing from everybody on the depth of all sports that are going on. We have basketball, we have football. We're going to talk a little Deon Sanders and was he right? We might throw in some Draymond Green. We might even talk some Michael Jordan. And we might go into the best all-time conversation. Doesn't matter what sport. We talk about it all here at Sunny Phi Side Sports Take Live. I'm your host, Baruti Carl Alexander. Again, this is our 15th episode. I'm just going to dive right in and let everybody dive right in, and we're going to go right into it. Phil, how you doing today?
Doing great, Carl. How's everybody on the panel?
Everybody's doing fine.
We're all good, man.
Phil, can you start and share what is the state of the hottest things going on in sports right now? Is it basketball? We got this in-season tournament. What has happened? What's the state of that? What's going on?
Well, that's a new venue that the NBA has endeavored into. Hey, I mean, whatever they have to do to liven up the game. They're all going to meet in Vegas now for the finale and get it all taken care of. I don't know if that figures into the end game of this, who's going to the finals, who's going to the playoffs. You can just be hot now and cold as soon as this is over. So we're going to enjoy it for what it's worth right now.
We do know that the Summer League was one of the things that spurred this on because it was such a great success, got so much attention. And Vegas, of course, is getting a lot of basketball attention as a future venue for the NBA. What have you saw with the in-season tournament, Ms. Amberly?
I think it's keeping it interesting, I'd say, because there's how many games in the season? So many games, 82 games. So to put an in-season tournament, like the players, they have a good reaction to it as well, because they making it a like a playoff type of feel when they're playing these games early in the season. So I think it's a good thing.
Sounds good. We do know the Rockets are out of it. They went 2-2. Brother Jolivette, you're in. Would you like to comment on that? I see another post for you. Is that you trying to come in again, Brother Jolivette?
He's muted, looks like.
Okay. All right. Well, let him in. That might be the issue there. However, the in-season tournament, I think, can spur somebody on to even greater success. What do you think, Jeff? What do you think, Mr. President?
I think the in-season tournament was an outstanding idea. It gave us the chance to kind of spur interest in the league, because sometimes it can kind of get monotonous, considering the fact that right now you're dealing with college football. That's in a hot time of the season right now as you're gearing up for bowl season, and you have the NFL gearing down. So with all of that being going on, the NBA decided they had to do something early in the season to try to get the fans on board. So that's what this is all about, to try to spur interest, try to get more and more people to be interested in the NBA game.
So who was your surprise team so far, Mr. Walker?
My surprise team right now is OKC. OKC got it.
I wasn't surprised about that. They made the playoffs right at the playoffs last year. Without all those
they're
players.
at the bottom end. They're now at the top end. They're in the top end now. They was at the bottom end
Minnesota.
of that. Okay, Minnesota as well. I started with OKC. You want me to list them all of them?
No, not right now. I just wanted to tidbit. You said OKC, right?
Right.
And I'm gonna throw in Orlando. You right there? What do you think about the in-season tournament, and who are your surprises?
You know, I do apologize if you guys can hear me. I had some little technical difficulties on my laptop, so I had to pull you up on my phone. But you know what? Just to be honest, man, I really haven't caught too much of the season as far as like the basketball. I still don't even know or understand the purpose of in-game play and all that. I really don't. So I do apologize. I don't have much information to offer on that end as far as like what's going on in the NBA right now.
Okay, I understand. They've tried to generate interest. Maybe it's done a little bit, but it's still a test in progress. Brother Nauls, what do you say about the in-season tournament, and what do you see in the Rockets so far?
Well, the in-season tournament, I agree with my brother Jeff. I think that was a great idea. It's like the beginning of the preseason, but it's giving these guys a chance to gel together to get ready for the middle part of the season when it really gets tough. And these Rockets, man, this new coach is instilling in them a little more desire to play as a group. And it seems like they're beginning to come together, but they still lacking a rim protector. I love how Sagan, whatever his name is playing as a big man, and they got Jeff Green as the center. We got to have a true big man when it comes down to the heart of the season, man, going up against Giannis and all them other big guys, man. But they're doing excellent right now.
The issue, Carl, is that they have two big men sitting on the bench. That's Boban Marjanovic and they have Jock Landale. And they sitting over on the bench, and they're not really contributing to the team. They got to find a way how to move one of those guys to get another big man to come in who can actually contribute to this team, and that's what they're missing. They need one more big guy, and they're not getting it from those two guys sitting on the bench.
What you think about that, Amberly? Amberly, what you think about what the Rockets need?
Well, I say out of all of the teams, the Rockets have been the biggest surprise for me from just the way they came from last season to this season, ultimately because of coach. I think we do need a rim protector. Before the trade deadline, we should get someone who's defensive minded and can keep up. Şengün is pretty good, but he's going to wear out very, very quickly the way he's trying to play on defense. But I think we also need a guard. We need another guard because Van Fleet can't do it all, and our backup Holiday, he's pretty good, but we need another guard.
We haven't seen Thompson yet. We haven't seen the rookie yet, and
True.
I think he's wants to depend on. I haven't seen him in the actual game. I did see a little bit of him in the preseason. Have you seen him play, Amberly?
Yeah, he played in the preseason pretty well, actually. They were talking about how he was mostly defensive, which he is, but he started to develop some offense and a little mid-range game. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. But besides him, we really don't have anyone else to back up the two positions. So I'd like to see Amen once he gets healthy for sure.
Awesome. Okay. I thought I saw a story somewhere today about them contemplating the trade of Landale, man, for a rim protector, but I don't think it's come to full fruition yet. But I think I saw something in the sports today about that.
Yeah, Landale got to go.
He had some good minutes when he was at Phoenix. I haven't seen him. He's slow. He's slower than he looked in Phoenix. But Jeff Green, I think, how y'all pronounce the coach's name? Nduka?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he believes that Jeff Green can be that solid backup. Jeff Green has played against every kind of big man that has been in the league and held his own, and I think he's looking at that. However, Jeff Green is, 35? And
37.
Oh, he's 37. So you do need another big man. And now, as I told Jeff earlier, I think he believes Boban is not a novelty. He is a NBA player who can be that third backup. That's what I believe. We will see. What do you believe on that, Phil?
Well, I mean, look at the standings. If the playoffs were to start, the first 8 get in, Rockets wouldn't be in. They're 9th seed right now. And I said earlier in the year, don't get too excited. I didn't expect a whole lot this year. They're doing beyond what I expected, but at the same time, that's no reason you can't win a road game either.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And you have to sustain something on the road if you're going to win.
But Mr. President said a very strong point. He said Ndoka in Boston had a similar record at this time with the same number of games, and they ended up going to the NBA
Wait a
Finals.
minute, let's pump the brakes on that too, though. We don't
Exactly,
Boston had.
exactly the same
We
record.
do not
Phil.
have it. That trust me,
You don't have that talent.
that's a whole different animal.
But they could bring it together. I mean, you got to realize, man, they've only played 16
And
games.
there's to the point what I've been
16
telling you about other stuff.
16
It's too
more
early to tell. You can't. I mean, you haven't won a road game yet.
But
When
the-
are you,
That's true.
The
That's true.
playoffs are
you got to win a road game.
You
They have
play the
one
same team back to back. You'll be able to win a game on the road. Yeah.
But if the season ended today, the Rockets would be a play-in team. They're number 9
Yeah,
seed.
being a number
They would
9.
be a
But
play-in.
playing is that's kind of like a token spot. I don't think anybody's going to win the
Oh,
championship.
yeah.
playing. I don't think.
Well,
I think it's
well,
nice
we
to
didn't
get it.
expect them to win the
I would
championship
gladly
anyway.
accept them being in the play-in if the season starts. That's kind of what I said in preseason. That would be nice. I don't expect it, but it would be nice.
But remember, they're only one half game out of that last playoff spot. So they still
And
in the
again,
thick
to
of
the
things.
point I keep trying to say, it's still too early to determine the projection. You can
It's
have
almost 20 games, so it's almost 1/4. I
Yeah,
think
but
we can see.
But today's
pattern.
show is December 1. So
you're
we
still
got to go
talking
based
about
on
getting
what's going on
another
right now.
player here. We're still talking about getting another player there. We don't know if any of those variables are going to happen. You may
But
end
the
up
thing of it is, they have made a complete 360 from last year. So the progress that they're making, gives them great hope, man. I mean, if they get the play-in spot, they could do some damage. It's not saying that they'll win the championship, but if he can keep them gelled together and pick up somebody to be a rim protector, and they learn how to continue to play as a group, they can be dangerous.
But there you go with the if again. We don't know that. We're just talking about what we got. I mean, you're right, and I agree with you. But I'm talking about present time team. And look at the teams ahead of them. They're good too. So it's not like, we can etch it in stone, but we hope that they do just what you said and progress naturally with the players and the coaches, and we'll see what happens. They didn't do it with the guy they got out of there. So the guy that got in there now is making a huge difference. Coaching matters in the pros.
We could use
definitely
another
does.
veteran for sure.
Phil, what do you teams that you see as a surprise, either positive or negative? And then what is your thought this early on the MVP?
Well, for right now, I would say the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean,
that didn't surprise me.
They surprised me because they're the laughing stock typically. They've been gradually matriculating to where they are now. And sometimes a road bump will come and you don't get there. Now, Edwards is their leader, and they got the big guy. They got some talent, but they stumble and fumble their way always. When have they ever been this good this early? When was the last time?
Yeah, remember Conley came halfway through the year last year. They had a whole summer to work with Conley. And I think that is a key. Also, they have another year to try to figure out how to mesh Gobert and Cat. And from what I am hearing, I haven't seen them play, but they say that their defense is devastating with those two big men. And then Conley being able to feed them. And then, of course, Edwards is becoming a star, and he's carrying the scoring load. So they can concentrate on defense, rebounding, and all the other things. I think that's why they've been so effective. Any other surprise teams, guys?
Surprise teams on the bad side, on the positive or negative side?
Either one.
Okay, on the negative side, my surprise teams on the negative side, I thought for sure that the Golden State Warriors would be better than 9-10 at this point. I thought the Clippers would be better than 8-10 at this point. And San Antonio supposed to have San Antonio is the best coach in the entire league. Plus, they got to draft a generational talent. Yet they still got the worst record in the league. Who would have thought that?
Jeff, you don't remember when David Robinson was first drafted? They kind of I think they didn't make the playoffs still.
They didn't.
Yeah, but they didn't start with no three win season either. They 3-12.
But if you go
Are
back
you
and look
sure
at
that?
it, it took them
Paul,
a
are you
while to
sure
win.
that?
They had to get Tim Duncan in there for them to really take off.
Right,
Very
but
much
that
so.
was
I'm not
That-
surprised at all about that. You talking about the NBA, man.
so when they got Tim
NBA, I
Duncan,
mean, you
hold
got all great players.
Hold
So one guy 7'4", I mean, everybody got somebody 7 feet. So
when San Antonio got Tim Duncan, it was an unusual season. They had a lot of injuries that
It was
year,
a strike
and then instead of bringing the guys back, they decided to tank and go ahead and go for that first pick, and they won that first pick. But
But
that was not
But
because
that wasn't
David
promised them.
Robinson
That
wasn't
was
playing well.
a
It was because of
drastic
injuries. It was because San
change.
Antonio was suffering from a lot of injuries, and that's why they ended up with that first pick and got Duncan.
They don't
That's
have to
how
apologize for that though. Look what happened with it. They did something with it.
but this is a consistent trait. Just because a new great player comes into a team doesn't mean that they automatically going to jump over everybody else.
Right.
It
Well,
takes
Carl,
it
we
takes
done said
time.
that.
Y'all think
But
he's
they
a great
sitting at
player?
3 and 15,
Hey,
Carl.
he hasn't proved himself yet.
He's
He hasn't
supposedly,
proved himself.
she's correct. He hadn't proven himself in the NBA.
He's acting like a rookie. This early on, he looks like a rookie.
19-year-old rookie at that.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
it.
wondering.
3 years, 2 years of college, none of that. That's
I'm
basically
wondering
straight from high school, basically.
But the thing of it is, didn't the Spurs have a semi-decent team last year? They didn't trade away too many people. They just not playing there this year.
Well, with Pop coaching them, you don't think they're gonna stay that way forever. I mean, it's just the way it is right now. Everybody go down some point.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
It's gonna be some
I think that's another thing.
Two players away.
I think
I think San Antonio is tanking. I think they're tanking to get the first pick in the draft again. I really believe so.
That issue again, Jeff.
San Antonio is this bad.
That issue again.
I don't think
15 call. They sitting at 3 and 15 with the best coach in the league and got a generational talent in the draft. And you sitting at 3 and 15. Come on, man. Plus they had over $30 million. Plus they had over $30 million in salary cap space going
Here's
into the
a
summer.
question
How
for the
come they didn't
panel.
utilize it? Why didn't they utilize it to improve their team?
here's a statement. This is a statement that we all overlooking. I really and truly believe Pop is getting tired. I think he's about to sign on the dotted line and say, I'm through. And I think this got a lot to do with what's going on with the whole organization now. I was watching one of the games the other night, and he had to say something to the crowd about how the crowd was treating Kawhi when they played. Yeah, and he's getting tired, man. I think he's about to.
But that's just him, you know. I mean, Kawhi was his guy, helped him get a championship. When you advocate for him to have a decent night, just one night, got you a championship.
Yeah, he just wanted the fans to treat the guy fairly. That's all.
That's all.
Yeah, but I still.
They didn't pay him no attention. They did what they paid their money. They booed him anyway.
Yeah.
Pop in 74, 75.
Going into the season, did you think after 18 games that San Antonio will be sitting at 3 and 15?
No, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised at all either.
I'm not. I mean, just like you think the Rockets gonna drastically get better, why come they can't drastically get better?
Well,
that's what it is right now. That's what's happening right now. We're not talking about down that progress. They haven't played together any time at all. And like I said, the boy 19, he's still a boy. He ain't a man yet. He's
so
in the man's league.
Okay. All right.
MVP. In my opinion, at this point, you might have to go. I think I got to go with Joker again, man. Joker's a bad boy.
Joker didn't get MVP last year, Carl. He didn't get MVP last year, just in case you didn't know it. Embiid was MVP last year.
I know that.
Oh, well, it's the way you said it. Like you said, you're going to get it.
It should have been Joker.
It should have been Joker last year, too.
Okay, who I got? I got Joker. I got Joker. He's averaging 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists. That's unheard of for a big man to average 9 assists. That's amazing. But hey, look at Embiid. Embiid is averaging 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Yeah, it's almost a toss-up. It just seems like really what it comes down to, I guess, is Embiid look like he should be dominating, and so you just give him, hey, okay, he's supposed to be doing that. But if you look at Joker, he's so slow. He's big,
Yeah,
and he got slow moves, but it's smooth and it's
Methodical. He's
yeah.
methodical.
So I mean, I guess that has something to do with it. But yeah,
Well, let me give you guys a wild card. Shea Gildress Alexander.
That was the guy I was going to say next. 31 points, 6
Okay.
rebounds.
Give that man some credit. He's been
Exactly.
doing it
Gotta
all
give him
over
some
last
credit.
year and the beginning of this year.
Yep. 31, 6 and 6 right now.
I mean,
And-
that's when you can never rule out a healthy Kevin Durant. A healthy
Right.
Kevin
and
Durant.
he's doing real good this year.
Yeah. I mean,
And you can't rule out Steph Curry, but the problem is their record. It's going to come down to their record, guys. Right now, the NBA has 6 players that's averaging more than 30 points a game. That's Embiid, Kevin Durant, Luka Doncic, De'Aaron Fox, and Alexander from OKC. All those guys averaging more than 30 points a game. But look at Steph Curry.
Fox is somebody you got to keep an eye on.
Steph Curry is 35 years old and averaging 29.5.
He's an interesting
That's
player,
amazing.
man. He's got the goods.
That's amazing.
I want to take a break here and say this is our 15th episode, Jeff, I believe, of Sunny Phi Side Sportstake. We're growing. We are doing more every time. After this show, we're going to have a special episode with the Honorable Ralph Cooper, and that's going to be on Sports Legends. For those out there in the audience who would like to prepare and chime in, send your questions in. So much is going on with Sunny Phi Side Sportstake. We're growing. Check out the site. If you haven't joined, make sure you join and chime in at all times. At this time, I would like to do a couple of ads and some promos. I first want to say Renaissance Realty, Daryl Malloy. He is a realtor. If you want to buy a house or you want to work in real estate, talk to Daryl Malloy. His number is 469-649-6274. I also want to say, if you want to travel to Africa, Tanzania Tours, Godwin King, he will take care of you. I stayed with him for 10 days in Arusha, Tanzania. Great experience. He's at 255-769-047-8888. And those are two mentions that I want to talk about. Now I want to talk about a promo from A Rocket, my brother Philip.
A Rocket Moving and Storage, a full service moving company. We do local, commercial, intrastate, and interstate. Been around since 1959. DeAndre Sam is second generation owner. We have local residential long distance moves. We are known in the city. We service all type of businesses, and you can always reach us at the office, 3401 Quarter, 713-748-6024, and ask for Philip Green.
Show the promo.
I will be more than happy to help you. This is our flyer.
Blue and red and white.
That would be it. And we have our names on our trucks, and you'll see us throughout the city. And we've been in business again since 1959. Herbert and Arlene Sam founded the company, and DeAndre Sam, their son, has been running it since the mid, and it's been very successful, very much an asset to the city. And let us do your next move. Thank you.
Great company.
Last thing, New York. What'd you
Sir?
say, Phil? What was the last thing you mentioned?
Oh, just to let us be your mover. Let us service you for whatever moving services you need. We have storage also. And we just broke ground on the new warehouse that's climate control on our property, right at Quarter, up Yellowstone on Peerless. You can't miss us. Drop in, call, and we have a website, arocket.com.
Blessings. Thank you. I have used A Rocket, great service, down home, down to earth. You can talk to them and they'll take care of you. So
and kudos to Daryl's travel company. I know him. He's a Johnston Greyhound, just like you and I, Paul. I remember Daryl.
Yes, all right. Blessings. We will talk now about the Texans You know, the Texans have lost 3 games in the last few minutes, seems like, and just one play here or one play there, their record would be totally changed. But as it is, they're still doing much better than anticipated. What do you say about the Texans, Amberly?
Oh yeah, I mean, everything changed once CJ Stroud came along. He is the best quarterback we've seen here. He definitely found his go-to person in Tank Dell. He is making moves like one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Tom Brady. I'd compare him to him. I'd say we wouldn't be where we are today without CJ Stroud. He makes those calls on the ground, last minute plays, last minute throws. He's a throw first quarterback, but he's been showing that he can run as well. So yeah. Once we get a good running game, and Singletary is one of those guys that's looking like he's trying to step up in the running game. But once we really get going on the running game, the sky's the limit, really, and because the defense is already doing what they got to do, and they can always improve. And I'm sure by the time we get to the playoffs, we'll be making a run.
Okay, you already got them in the playoffs. And I just want to mention again, I remember on this show, not everybody was about taking that quarterback in the first round pick. Somebody said, keep Davis Mills and get you a big.
What?
Huh?
No way, man.
He knows who he is. He's right. It was him.
Yeah. Brother Greg, what you say about the Texans?
Man, I love the Texans. We let one slip through our fingers. Well, we kind of got beat up with them flags. But we got an excellent team, man. I mean, D'Amico Ryan has set a characterization and a rapport around the team, man, that's got us pushing on all cylinders. Like Mr. Emily said, if we can get this running game together, man, we'll be hard to beat. And we had Jacksonville, man. I mean, if the field goal that he missed cost us that game, not the 58-yarder, the couple that he missed, the 38-yard or the 43-yarder, he made one of those and we win the game. But yeah, they on the hot spot, man, and I'm looking for them to make a hard push in the playoffs too.
Okay. Oh yeah, having a kicker is underrated, so we could definitely make an investment in that part as well.
I might have cut this guy that missed these field goals since our regular kicker is hurt, and the brother that came in and kicked that field goal that time, he be the one trying to kick, because if he missed, we'll say, hey, he's not a regular kicker. But if you're a regular kicker and you missing the 38-yard, I got a problem with that. Phil, what's the state of the Texans?
Well, of course, we know who did say that CJ Stroud should start. I mean, we know. Let me give you my take. CJ Stroud named AFC Offensive Player of the Month and NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month for November. Stroud, just the second rookie quarterback in NFL history to win the AFC Offensive Player of the Month and just the 4th player ever to earn the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month in the same month. You know who the other 4 people were? Barry Sanders in 1989, Edgerrin James in 1999, Kareem Hunt in 2017, and Miss Amberly, I would say he's playing as good as any quarterback the Texans have played since Deshaun Watson, your 4th guy in 2017. So he still is good, but I can't discount what Deshaun did because he came in and instantly gave them guys some breath from choking. CJ started right from Jump Street though. So, and I told Carl and Jeffrey, he's the real deal. Carl said he should be on the clipboard while Davis played and get beat up so he wouldn't get beat up. I said, he's a big boy. He wore big boy pants. If you think about the guys he threw to at Ohio State.
I did not know he was this good, Phil.
I know you did not try to hit me to it though. I named all the guys. Look, Chris Olave, Wilson for the Jets. All those guys are in the pros for a reason. Because he's throwing to them. They were trained to do this. Now, of course, he could have busted. He could have, but he didn't. But I do understand your purpose because you weren't the only person that told me that. I had a lot of people. But sometimes you have to believe in what your eye tests tell you. And that's what it told me, that this dude, stand in the pocket. He can run, and the game in the college playoff last year against Georgia, that did it for me. And the same thing I said with Fields before him. They putting guys in there ready to play. When Fields gets out of Chicago, you're gonna see just how good he really is.
What I love about him, man, that the guy, he can't get flustered, man. He's so calm. Nothing really shakes him up. And you don't normally see that in a young player. And when a young player make a mistake, he's frustrated then. But this boy here, man, I mean, he's good. He's going to be good.
And really liking him to
Go ahead.
Tom Brady, but I liken him to Dan Marino in his second year. Because Dan Marino didn't play much, but that second year was one of the best. You go back and look. So many records he set. I don't think CJ gonna break most of those, but Dan Marino had, and I hadn't seen anybody like that at that time, and I watched a lot of football up to that point. But CJ is right in that category, in my opinion, for a young player.
I think it is
He
good to
almost
know.
got flustered against the Cardinals when he got hit that time. He got hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
He got shaken up for that one play, but he came back and he still managed it and so forth. We are almost at the end of the year. How many games we got left, Jeff? 7?
6 games. 6 games left. The Texans have Denver, the Jets, the Titans twice, the Browns, and the Colts. I have them going 3-3 over the final 6 games, and I have them finishing at 9-8.
Okay.
Nah, they're going to finish
You think
better
that's
than
gonna
that.
make playoffs?
I think they're going to do better than that.
It's going to be a toss-up. If they do make it, it's going to be the 7th seed. There's 7 teams that make the playoffs in each conference. If they make it, they'll be the 7th seed, but it's going to be a dogfight.
I believe they're going to finish the season with 10-7 or something like that. Because I'm expecting them to beat Tennessee. Tennessee, I don't know what's going on with them, man. They're falling apart over there, the whole organization. And Indianapolis, they can beat them because they don't have, what's the boy, Richardson, he's out for this. They're going to be able to deal with Minshew because he was a problem for them a few times around, but I think they can deal with him this time.
So what do you got what's your prediction for the record for them, G?
10-7.
10-7, okay. All right.
We are toward the end of the football year. We got 6 games. So we've already played 10, right? Or is it 11?
11.
Who looks like they're going to be the top 4 teams in the East and in the West of the NFC and the AFC, and who are going to be those top 2 teams at the end? I'm going to give you my 4 teams. First in the AFC, Kansas City, Baltimore, Miami,
Houston.
Jacksonville. I don't think Houston gonna make it. What do you think, Greg? Who's your 4 teams?
You just named them with the exception of Jacksonville. I think it's going to be Kansas City, Baltimore, Miami, and I'm going with the Texans because I think Jacksonville is going to get tripped up somewhere along the last 3 or 4 games, and that's going to open the door for the Texans if they're going to take care of their business with Tennessee, Indianapolis, and hopefully with the way the Rico Ryan is coaching this defense, we might get a chance to steal this game against Denver this weekend, man. Well, I'm not going to wipe them off against Denver because they playing good enough to beat Denver this weekend.
Yeah, Brother Wilson has been playing stronger and he's becoming a leader with Denver. I'm skeptical of them winning. Jeff, what is your predictions on the 4 teams in the AFC?
Well, I was going to go with AFC. I was going to go ahead and tell you the 7. I think that's going to make the playoffs. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Jacksonville Jags, the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to go with I'm going to roll the dice on the Cleveland Browns. They're playing well right now. And then the last team I'm going to go with the Texans as the 7th seed.
Okay.
And then in the NFC, I'm going to go with Philly, Dallas, the 49ers, the Detroit Lions, the Vikings, the Atlanta Falcons, the Green Bay Packers, and I'm going to go with the Vikings and the Vikings.
No Detroit?
Yeah, he said Detroit.
Did I not say
Oh,
Detroit?
you said Detroit. Okay.
Yeah, Detroit.
Amberly, do you have 4 teams in the AFC or NFC that you think are going to make it?
I think it's already set. The top 4 teams in the AFC right now is the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Jaguars, and the Dolphins. I think that's set already. I don't see any of those teams falling off. For NFC, I can see, of course, the Eagles, Dallas, the 49ers, and I guess possibly the Lions. Yeah.
Okay. The Lions are playing strong this year. I believe they're 9-3 or 8-3.
8-3.
One of them.
8-3.
Okay, well, they certainly are playing very strong. You want to make a comment on that, Phil?
Yeah, the Lions playing in the weak NFC North, so if they can't win that one, then not now, then when? It's their time. 49ers are pretty much dominant. The Eagles are probably going to win these. Cowboys will probably get a wild card. And, you know, it can get tricky when you get teams that sneak in there, you know, Falcons. Just never know. In the AFC, that's a little more fluid, I think. I think you got Texans got a chance. They just got to play there, but they can't give away any more games. Of course, everybody's already alluded to the fact they're giving away a couple. Can't do that down the stretch. This is December. You win your games in December, it kind of determines what you do when playoff time comes. You either
I have a
already
question.
in or you right smack in it.
I have a question about CJ Stroud. Do y'all think he would be as good as he is without Tank Dell?
Yeah. Tank Dell is a special player, but I think he will because he came with that skill set. Tank Dell, he's the reason Tank Dell is there. He asked for Tank Dell.
Yeah, I think he'd be as good too because you can see how he places the ball to these other receivers. I expected more out of Robert Woods than I'm getting.
Nico's come up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think he would be just as good, but I think his numbers would be down just a little bit. Maybe 200 or 300 less yards passing than what he has.
Tank Dell is a presence. Now, if you would ask me, I didn't think he would be as good as he was. I'm really impressed. I thought he was good, but I didn't think he would do what he's doing. I had no doubts about CJ Stroud. Tank Dell gets my apologies if I ever meet him.
I knew that Tank was going to do well because I watched a lot of his highlights leading up to the draft, and I also watched what some of the Pro Bowlers said about him, that he's an outstanding talent. So I knew he was going to be good.
Okay, what round did they pick him in? What round did they
cover him?
What round did they pick him in?
He was a 3rd round pick, but he's so quick. It's hard to cover. Well, he only won the 3rd round.
But we're not talking about Randy Moss here. We're talking about somebody who was really good in college, whereas Randy Moss was a sure thing. Tank was not a sure thing. I'm glad he is. I'm glad he is. Sometimes they are. I'm nobody with no authority to say who is and who isn't. But I'm just impressed with the young man. Totally impressed.
I want to talk about a featured subject right now. Every episode, we want to feature a subject. I want to talk about the stories of athletes' rags to riches. It's been a recent article about Joe Smith. Some of you know that he was the #1 pick, I believe, for Maryland. But we've heard so many times. The president, Mr. Jeff, talked about Latrell Sprewell. We all know about that incident that he turned down millions. We've heard about athletes blowing millions and millions. And, you know, what do we think about that? Is it just, should there be something done to protect them, or should they be left just to their own protection? Amberly, what you think about that?
Are there any particular names you can point out?
I mentioned Joe Smith.
Joe Smith.
I mentioned Antoine,
Antoine
Walker. Those are 2.
I think it's a recurring theme for a lot of not just NFL players, but just athletes in general, just wasting away their earnings for sure. I think for anyone, there could be a program for them to get the right perspective on how to spend their money, because a lot of people, especially minorities, don't have financial literacy. So it would be a good program for them to delve into. But I think to each is their own. They would have to want to do that. They would have to want to know how to spend their money and
I think
they could do.
most organizations have some peripheral things set up. And of course, it's up to the players, because they can say, I'm not going to that meeting. I'm not hanging with your financial advisor or your psychologist or whoever. I want to do what I want to do. Brother Greg, what you think about that?
Well, man, they say money is the root of all evil. And these salaries have gotten so explosive now. They're so big that a lot of these guys, when they get that money, it's hard to tell them about business ventures or this. And then they got their entourages all in their ear, and they trying to take care of all the friends that they've carried along the way that's been on the bandwagon. And it's costing them so much that in the end, they're left lost with nothing. I mean, look at Warren Sapp, man. All the years he played, now he got to take a job. A friend got to give him a job just to be able to live right. He flat broke, man. And now Deon extending a hand to help to him, which is a good thing. But you can't tell these guys anything about how to use their money or spend their money when they say it's mine. I signed on the dotted line. I'm the $200 million player. I don't need nobody to tell me how to spend my money. But when it's all gone, then hey, you out in the cold because that's the choice you made.
Yeah, and you are maybe have your hands open and hope somebody put something in there for you. Phil, you got any stories on that?
I have a good one for you. Hey, people think Allen Iverson is broke. He appears to be. The rumor's been there. But you know what he did when he signed his rookie contract? He signed a rookie contract with a lifetime contract with Reebok. He's going to get $32 million on his 55th birthday. He's blown a lot of money. People know that. Done a lot of things. But here's somebody else who I really want to say just a little antithesis of what we're talking about. Any of you guys know who Junior Bridgman is?
Yeah.
Junior Bridgman was
that
an
guy's
excellent
phenomenal.
basketball player.
Ulysses.
He wasn't a superstar, but he was good. He made $350K during those years. Nobody was getting that big money back then. But you know how much money he's made after the NBA? $600 million plus.
Yep.
By being an entrepreneur.
Outstanding businessman.
One more person, and this guy, my heart goes out to him because he reached out to a lot of his teammates who were on drugs, in jail. Is Roger Staubach. He made a modest salary when he played for the Cowboys, but he's made $1 zillion in real estate and construction. And he hired a lot of those guys, gave them jobs, did what he could for them. I'm sure Junior Bridgman has done that too. But I know I loved him because when he came out of Louisville, I just knew he was going to be a good basketball player, not a super. And he went to the Bucks. The problem was the era he played in, you wasn't beating Philly and you wasn't beating Boston. So Milwaukee was always just in the playoffs, maybe to the conference semis. That was it. Junior Bridgman bought into a lot of Wendy's and Chili's and all those restaurants like that. And he is massively rich. So yeah, we got guys who blow their money. We got guys who spend it right.
Exactly.
There are some other guys I know in football, Mel Farr.
Yeah.
Auto dealership.
At the dealership right here in Houston.
Yeah.
He have dealership right here in Houston.
Okay, yeah. So it's quite a few that have done something with their resources. Of course, Michael Jordan is the best example, but that money he had is inexorbitant, and I'm messing up the words, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But he could have messed that up too, though. He could have, but he didn't. So, but the athletes, it's easy for us to say, but when you got that in your hand, you think you're on top of the world, and you say, hey man, I'll worry about all that stuff later. Right now, I got this. Everybody's on my grip, on my shoulders, and everybody loves me, and man, I don't need to worry about that. Then all of a sudden it changes and you're not prepared, and and you got to make up a messes you done made, and before you know it, all of it's gone.
The NFL tried to stem the tide. They have a rookie camp where the guys go in there and they sit them down and they tell them all kind of stuff. Herm Edwards, What's the guy who played wide receiver for the Vikings? Chris Carter and all those guys. They come in there, they break it down for him. Hey, rookie, this is what's happening. Hey, rookie, this is how you spend your money. Hey, rookie, this is a scenario you could be, and that's free. I mean, they break it into them and give. And now in college, let's be real, they attach the money. They get the NIL treatment. You go to the right school, you get paid already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of that's out there. So it's really comes down to the individual and what they want to do and so forth. Some of them want protection. Some of them don't want nobody helping them.
But that comes.
It all works out.
That's a matter of immaturity. These guys are young in their early 20s getting millions of dollars. They're not thinking about investing it. That comes with, some maturity and financial literacy as well. So I think, if you have someone in your corner when you're young who knows what type of investments you may be interested in and can, point you in the right direction, that's what would be the helper there.
Yeah.
One thing I have been hearing about is some athletes, like in their first 2 or 3 years, they don't even cash their checks. They live off of interest or something else because they don't know. They say, okay, I'm not going to cash this. Several of them said, hey, I never cashed a check. I got my survival money some other kind of way, which is an intelligent thing, but not everybody can do. But it's an interesting subject, and we'll continue to look at that and bring up different cases to look at and examine, try to figure out why and what they could do differently, just from an aspect of an interesting thing. But one interesting thing that we're going to finish with is the 4-8 Colorado Buffaloes. They started 3-0. It looked good in the beginning, but they hit Utah, Washington, Oregon, not to mention UCLA and USC. I saw the UCLA game. I wouldn't have had my son out there. I'd have put the backup in. I'm sorry. I'd have put the backup in. I'd have said, son, you done taken enough. Go sit down. He's hurt now. Let's talk about that. There's a thing about being a father. There's a thing being about winning a football game. Where do you draw the line? What do you think about that, Amberly? Where do you draw the line? I mean, he wasn't winning and he getting his son hurt. Amberly.
He's not winning. He's getting his son hurt. I don't know too much about Colorado football, but I mean, it sounds like there's something that needs to change there. Some type of intervention that needs to go on.
Yeah, it could be. Nauls, what you think?
Well, they need an offensive line. It wouldn't have made no difference who the quarterback was for the first point. Second point, as a Hall of Famer like Deon is, he's gonna let his son play. He's trying to mold him for the next level of playing, man. You got to learn how to play hurt. We didn't want him to get hurt like he did get hurt, but you got to learn how to play through the growing pain. Any player that loves the game really don't want to come out with a nick or bang. He wanted to.
Can I
yes,
ask
sir.
you this?
Yes, sir.
Did you see the UCLA Colorado game?
Oh man, they beat him up bad.
They beat him up bad, man.
I feel bad. They beat him up bad, and that's at least I have to agree with you. Now, middle of third quarter, I would have pulled him. Yeah. I would have pulled him and said, yeah, man, I mean, we ain't gonna win this game.
I wouldn't have let him do that. I'd have said, hey, our second string, he wants some time. He wants to get some experience. I just said, son, you go sit down. Because one would hold him up and the other one would hit him. I said, oh man. But
you got to look at it from this standpoint, Carl. Those are Deon's sons. They got his character, his DNA. He probably didn't know your dad
also.
Yeah, but he probably let him make the call. He probably let
targets. Those guys got targets on their backs.
Oh, yes, sir.
They got targets on their backs. Because of how brash Deon is, they're gonna tee off on his sons. The same thing that happened when the ball guys got to the NBA.
Yeah.
Big Baller Brand. That guy
Yeah.
made a big deal, and Lonzo Ball struggled because he was putting so much pressure on his son. He had what they call it, a target on his back.
A target on his back. And he still do.
Yeah.
He still do. Mm-hmm.
LaMelo, I think, gonna be all right eventually. He probably have a long career. I think Lonzo's is almost probably over already. My brother may come in one day with the LaMelo. I think that's his name. So we might see that. But I don't know. When you're a father, your first role is to be
Protect my child.
And at the end of the day, to protect him. His image for Deon Brand is not as important as his son's safety. If it was my son, I'd have said, okay, son, it's time to sit down. I mean, by that UCLA game, he already knew this was going to be a difficult journey. He was, at that time, maybe 4 and 5, probably not going to make the playoffs. And, you know, I had to question Deon on that. Phil, what do you think?
Well, guys, and Miss Amberly, I think the man knows his son better than any of us. I think that kid got beat up every game. It wasn't just, that was probably one of the more important games.
Yeah.
He took it all year, but got off the mat and played. Maybe he should have been pulled, maybe he shouldn't. But the kid is a football player. And he's a very good football player. But I do believe Deon knows what he's doing. He got to get in that portal. He got to recruit. He ran off half the squad that was there before. So he got what he got because he didn't keep some of the guys he may have should have.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, no regrets. You go in there, you play the game. A potential injury is every time you put on the pads. Every time.
I put it like this. I know a lot of people in the country that was extremely elated the way the season ended for Deon Sanders.
And that's okay. But that's football. That could have happened to anybody.
Sitting at 3-0 and being as bashful as he is and boastful as he was.
I guarantee you the alumni got no problem with the financial rewards they received.
And they still
he was like Black Jesus. And then all of a sudden, all of it came down to a crushing halt, losing 8 of his final 9 games. But they didn't expect what they got. They expected that all year. At least you got some enjoyment out of the season to have some hope. They got lots of hope. And I guarantee you when he get his full recruiting class in, because he ain't going nowhere, he's going to be there for a little bit. Not long, maybe, but for a little bit. But I promise ask you that question
like
next,
he told them earlier, get me now. Get me now.
I was going to ask you that question next, Phil. Do you think that he will be looking to move maybe to Houston or A&M?
Nah.
I think he's going to be there about 4 years at least.
However long, he ain't going next year. He ain't going the year after that.
He developing a squad, man. He getting out. He getting a squad together, man. Now, if you get him another a big time running back and get him some offensive line, they're gonna be tough, man. They would have had more wins than they got now if that boy Hunter would have got hurt. That was his weapon. And when that boy got hurt,
But he was proven to be human too, because that kid from Stanford gave it to him.
Woo, man.
Man. That just goes to show you it happens.
That changed their season. That illegal hit changed their season. They were never the same after that.
But also when you blow a 29-point lead, that also shows you the leaks and the gas
and the
inefficiencies you have in your squad. He can't play for him. All he can do is put him out there. I guarantee you they're probably one of the better coached teams. They just don't have the talent. They were in whatever last year. They haven't won games in forever. They have been horrible. So even with what's happened, they have improved that program tremendously already. And
look at the division they in, man. Washington, Oregon State.
The Pac-12 will be no more after this year, so we don't know where they're going to be.
Yeah.
Right now, the Pac-10 championship is on right now.
It is.
And you got the Washington Huskies beating the Oregon Oregon 17-3 right now.
And that's an elimination game because neither the loser ain't going to the playoffs with high hopes. Oregon was sitting there thinking they could get in if they win this game. If Washington won, they're in. No ifs, ands, buts, and alls.
Yeah,
Whether they're
Washington
one or whether they're 4,
they 12-0.
they're in.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't over yet, Jeff.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
we
looking
are
good so
at
far.
the end of our show, our
Yeah.
15th episode of Sunny Phi Side Live Sports Take. I appreciate all the guests and so forth. I want to ask, is there any sports comments, statements that you want to make?
Yes.
On the state of sports. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yes. Okay. This is a big weekend for college football, guys. Right now, you have Oregon versus Washington right now. Oregon's ranked number 5. Washington ranked number 3. It's 17-3 right now in the second quarter. Also, you have coming up this weekend, you have Oklahoma State ranked number 18 going up against number 7, Texas. Texas is 11-1 coming into the game. Oklahoma State is 9-3. That should be a good game. That's coming up on Saturday. Also, you have number 1, Georgia Bulldogs going up against number 8, Alabama. As you saw what Alabama did last weekend, came back and won that game. That should be a good game. So that's going to be on Saturday as well. So you're going to have some big games this week. Also, you have Michigan going up against Iowa. That's going to be a big game. And Louisville versus Florida State. So you got some huge games coming on this weekend relative to college football. So expect a big weekend.
Okay, we're at the end of our show. I just want to remind everybody, Tanzania tours. You want to go to Africa, Tanzania tours. You want to get in real estate, Renaissance Realty, A-Rocket, moving and storage.
A-Rocket.
Right there.
Moving and storage.
This has been Sunny Phi Side Live Sports Take. I'm your host, Baruti Carl Alexander. We thank you, and we'll see you next time. Next episode, we are planning an all-star episode of all the legends that have been on the show. We would like to get all of those on the show for our next episode. We're working on it. We'll let you know, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time on Sunny Phi Live Sports Take. Thank you.